While drug companies are gearing up to release the swine flu vaccine, an online British newspaper relates the shots to a potentially deadly nerve disease.
Mail Online reveals the British government sent letters to 600 top neurologists urging them to be alert for Guillain-Barré syndrome after people got the shot. The letter refers to what it calls, quote, the 1976 debacle in the United States when 25 people died from the shot, while only one actually died from the swine flu.
But certainly preparation is underway. We're looking at schools as great partners for possible vaccine programs beginning in the fall to get kids immunized as quickly as possible.
While around 12,000 U.S. children will reportedly receive untested shots of swine flu vaccine, critics say the vaccination trial means the children will effectively be turned into guinea pigs.
Then you need to control their perception, because that controls their actions, and the perception that they want people in more than anything is danger, danger, danger. Because once you get someone in fear of something, they will look outside of themselves for something or someone to protect them from what they've been manipulated to fear. So get them to fear swine flu, they will then say, save me from swine flu, okay, give us your arm.
Good night.
Right, give us your children's arm. Oh no, yeah. Oh darling, you must be vaccinated, the swine flu's coming. Pathetic.
The U.S. military is making plans for a major outbreak of swine flu. Troops will be used to help civilian authorities, but there are also preparations being made to protect military forces from catching and spreading the disease within their ranks.
It is an intriguing question. What if the swine flu virus that has killed 61 people and spread to 30 countries was not something that occurred in nature, but was instead man-made in a laboratory?
The argument that the pharmaceutical companies make is very deceptive. The assumption is vaccination is a good thing. In order for it to work, we have to spread it as widely as we possibly can, because otherwise the people who are not vaccinated will start a disease moving through the entire population. Therefore, we must work really, really, really hard to get these things into everybody. In the meantime, every single dose of vaccination that is sold brings them a tidy profit.
I think parents are wondering why every time industry produces a vaccine, it is automatically added to the mandatory list for school entry.
In the United States, the number of mandatory vaccine injections has risen to 36 per child. Each of these injections contains neurotoxins such as aluminum, formaldehyde, aborted fetal tissue, animal byproducts, heavy metals, and many others. What happens to a child's fragile immune system when it's overloaded with these toxins?
Conclusion, these scientists who they've spoken to, that this is a very unusual form of flu because it looks like it is a product of some gene splicing. The flu contains elements of bird flu, 2 forms of human flu, and various forms of swine flu. To them, it doesn't look like this is naturally occurring.
I'm very concerned that a vaccine might be brought out too quickly. There's huge demand for it from doctors and patients, and yet it hasn't been fully tested. We know from the past that these types of vaccines can cause neurological disorders, and there is an overall concern that if the vaccine is used too soon, it may have more problems than swine flu itself.
Having sped up a hearing and ultimately unanimous Senate approval of the Pandemic and Disaster Preparation and Response Bill in Massachusetts, the bill gives the Public Health Commissioner the discretion to respond to an outbreak like the kind going on in Mexico, to close or evacuate buildings, enter private property, isolate or quarantine people, and to get and distribute meds and vaccines.
Any penalty if you don't follow the emergency declaration rules?
It can actually get to be a pretty severe penalty, because for each day someone didn't follow a rule, for example, if somebody was asked to be quarantined and they decided not to follow that, it could be a fine of up to $1,000 per day they didn't follow, and also up to 30 days in prison.
Josh,
from everything, there would be nobody left who would believe that vaccines are safe, they protect you, they're harmless, and they're good for you. But we've got multi-general 100 years indoctrination that people really believe that vaccines are good. They really will keep me from getting sick. And you know, the FDA and the government wouldn't, it might harm me.
And so the undoing that in people's psyche is taking a long, long time. But I think that pretty soon we're going to reach the 100th monkey here. I really do. And I think that there's going to be a 100th monkey phenomenon when all of a sudden everybody's going to go, holy cow. And they're all going to wake up at the same time. And honestly, Alex, I think that's what the government's most fearful of.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.